Hello, everyone. I sure hope you enjoyed your Sunday up in our neck of the woods. It was awesome, and we're looking forward to several more very awesome days right in a row. But it's kind of nice that we're doing that because we're going to be looking this week in our scripture passages toward next Sunday, which is Palm Sunday, also known as Sunday of the Passion. We talk about Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, but then we also go over that last week of his life leading up to his crucifixion on Good Friday. So the psalm that's appointed for the Sunday of the Passion is Psalm 31, but only a portion of it, verses 9 through 16. And there's a good reason for that. It's classified as a psalm of lament. In other words, the individual who's writing the psalm is in big trouble and looks like there's no way out. The only way out has got to be through God himself. All right? That's the only way he's going to get out of this trouble. So lament typically has a couple different parts to it. One, the first part would be like an invocation. Come on, God, where are you? I need to call on you for some help right now. The next part would be the actual complaint. Hey, this is what's going on in my life, and it is not good. I'm in big trouble. Then you have a petition. But you know what, God? This is what you can do to help me. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And why can you do it? Because of the words of trust to come on. You've done it before. Here's this instance, and this instance, and this instance. I'm sure you can do it again for me. And then finally, there are words of praise. Now, the verses 9 through 16 that we're going to have this Sunday basically comprise the complaint, and then there's just a little touch of words of trust and praise toward the end. More words of trust than they are praise. But the verses that come before and after our selection, they are full of praise of God. And so the entire psalm, if you read it in its completeness, you see it's a very good way to look at how any of us can talk to God, how any of us can send up our petitions, especially when we're going through very rough and difficult times. Now, why Psalm 31? Why was it chosen? Well, Psalm 31 and Psalm 22 and also Psalm 69 are actually quoted in the Passion accounts in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the Synoptic Gospels. And in Mark, take it back. In Luke, we have an actual quote from Psalm 31, and it goes all the way back at verse 5. Into your hands I commit my spirit, just before Jesus dies on the cross, one of the words from the cross. But that's not part of our reading. That comes just before our reading today for this Sunday. So take a good look at this psalm. There are some beautiful aspects to it, especially as being a psalm in which the petitioner's crying out in anguish and is in such a tough jam that they don't think they're going to get out of it. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am in distress. My eye wastes away from grief. They're just crying their eyes out. And my soul and my body also. Basically, I've just about given up. I just want to die. My life is spent with sorrow and my years with sighing. My strength fails because of my misery. My bones waste away. It almost sounds like what Jesus himself is going through. In fact, this psalm reading is paired up with the suffering servant song of Isaiah 50, which is going to be the Old Testament lesson for Passion Sunday. And that is often applied to Jesus dying on the cross. Other things like, I'm a scorn of all my adversaries, a horror to my neighbors, an object of dread to my acquaintances. Those who see me in the street, they flee from me. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. This is part of the complaint. This is how bad it is, God. That's why I need you now more than ever. The words of trust really come through beautifully at the end. I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and my persecutors. And then it ends up with a blessing that is it's a request for a blessing that occurs all through the Psalms. Let your face shine upon your servant. Save me with your steadfast love. Whoa. Steadfast love. It's that word, hesed, all over again. It's God's dependable love. God that brings us comfort and strength. The only kind of love that can come from one place, from God himself. Go and read this. It's Psalm 31. The verses we'll have this Sunday, 9 through 16. But read the entire psalm from start to finish. In it, you do see the petitioner giving a lot more praise than there is the complaints, which are basically found just in this very short section of it. But before and after, words of trust, words of hope, words of praise. Well, enjoy your week. We're going to continue this week to take a look at the events of Jesus that are occurring on Passion Week. That'll be our reading. We're going to read the entire Passion account from Mark in church this Sunday. So I'll make some allusions to that. But also next week, leading up to Easter, we will go through different readings from the lectionary for each day of Holy Week. So be ready for all of that. God's blessings be with you. Again, enjoy these wonderful days of spring that we are being given this week. God's blessings.